What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Zabu wave. So we get a lot of cool figures in this wave, sort of building out teams and giving us new characters we've not had before. So really cool wave overall. So to start off with, first we have Superior Iron Man, which is really cool with this Iron Man, where he's more like evil. Of course, I'll go into more of the story of all these characters, but a more evil version of Tony Stark in this nice white armor. Looks cool. Then we got Black Winter disguised as Thor, based off that more recent Thor we got. So that's cool. And Wolfsbane. So Austin, I've heard in their X Factor designs are really cool. Of course, we see the body parts for Zabu, so the head and the body there as well. And then behind them, we have the other characters of the wave. So first we have Ka-Zar go along with Zabu. So we have another member from the Savage Land. So awesome to have him. Then from the Winter Guard, we got Red Widow. So she looks awesome, a newer sort of character there. Looks awesome in the all red design. From the Eternals, we have Ikaris. So awesome to have our leader of the Eternals in a comic design is awesome. And finally, we have Cable, which looks pretty cool here in his Marvel vs. Capcom sort of design and looks awesome just with that X-Men outfit on there. So really cool to have all those together. And of course, we have that Build-A-Figure Zabu to build of the saber-tooth tiger that I'm excited about, so we can see it built there on the back, what it's going to look like. So I'm just excited to open and check all these figures out. So let me go get them open and we'll take a look at them together. Well, let's start off with Superior Iron Man, which of course is still Tony Stark, but following the events of the Axis, where the morality of the heroes and villains were reversed by a magic spell, Tony had an evil personality, so he began to build his empire by releasing Extremis 3.0 virus into the public, getting people addicted to it, and then charging them a $100 fee for upgrades, leading to social unrest as the majority of society became addicted to drugs. And he would also engage in hostile takeovers of companies and release an army of drones to act as his police force. So that sounds pretty evil and what Tony Stark would do if he was evil. But this specifically is his armor model 50, which has an endosim armor made of liquid smart metal that hardens when it surrounds his body, and it functions almost like a symbiote that is psionically controlled, so he can just like think or say armor on and it'll sort of spread over his body like a symbiote does with Venom. So that all sounds pretty cool, but here we just have, an Iron Man. It does look really cool, so it's all this white color. It maybe has maybe has a little bit of pearlescence to it, like a nice little shininess, sparkliness to it, but it looks pretty cool just in the all white design with the black details. So you can see the black coming down around onto his stomach and up to the arms, a little bit on the biceps there, around to the back, down his legs as well on the inner thighs and to the knees, and a little bit on the shoes there. But everywhere else is the all white with the blue running through it, so we get the blue there around his eyes, around the face mask design, on the ears, a little bit of chest on his arc reactor and the little dots there, shoulders, down the arms, on the hips, down the thighs, all the way down to the legs there. So I just love the blue and black color sort of spread throughout the white body. Looks pretty cool for that. Now in a version like this, I just don't think it looks that good. It just looks like a white Iron Man armor, which does look cool, but we've had so many Iron Mans, it doesn't really matter too much. But when we get his head accessory, I think that's what makes him look really cool. But we'll do the movements on this, so the head will twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far. Now, for some reason with this body, I assume with the material and everything, this would be one of those bodies that has like the weird, strange feeling where everything just moves all nice and smooth. But it's actually the opposite, where we have a lot of like stiffness in this. So especially with the head there, it's really hard to get it to rock up and down. Even though we've heated it up and got it all loosened, everything seemed to tighten back up again. Then we go to the shoulders that come up to 90 and we'll rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow that'll bend up that far, which isn't bad at all. The wrist will twist around and hinge back and forth. Now, of course, he has the hands out for shooting there, so only goes so far, and then has a little bit of a cuff around there, so limited range for that. Then we get the ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around, so good movements for that. Then down to the hips, up to 90, and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint, that'll bend up that far to the back, so not the best, but not bad. And then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and should hinge side to side. But this part I heated up, and it's like still stiff, but it can work there. You just gotta, like I said, get it worked out, and then we'll then twist side to side. But overall, it doesn't work out too bad. Like I said, just a little bit of stiffness in the joints. But it is an Iron Man armor, so you're not gonna get the best movements ever. But for what he's got, it works out pretty decently. But as I mentioned, for his accessories, the thing I like the most is we get this more unmasked head of Tony Stark. So it's awesome to have Tony's face here. I love how his eyes are all whited out, but it still has like the helmet and armor design come up around his head, almost like, the old like Gambit mask and all the other characters like that, with his black hair up at the top sort of flowing there in the wind. So I love that helmet design, so that's probably definitely what I'll keep on this. So that just looks so much better with that unmasked head on it. We get some additional hands, so we just get the same hands in fist form. So if we want to have that so we can like hand punch, we can. And then it is an Iron Man armor, so we do also get the repulsor effects for his hands with this nice blue color. So let's put these in his hands. And there's the repulsors now shooting out of his hands, so that looks pretty cool. So like I said, overall it's not the coolest figure. This would definitely be a figure you could easily skip out on because it doesn't come with any Build-A-Figure pieces, but I do like the design, especially with this head on it. It makes me really like the figure and like the design with the all white with the Tony face sticking off there, giving us our evil version of Tony Stark. So I do like that a lot, but it is just another Iron Man, so we've had multiple of them, so it's just him in a white design this time, so not really all that interesting, but like I said, having the visual face on there makes me like this a lot. So pretty cool figure for that alone. And next up, we have Black Winter, which is a cosmic entity similar to Galactus, but on a larger scale, consuming universes, not just planets. But he chose Galactus as his herald and trying to get Galactus back into his service by taking the form of Thor Odinson, who had recently become Galactus's newest herald. Black Winter arrived to fight both, revealing to Thor that Galactus was actually his servant and that he was there to reclaim him, and that upset Thor, so he drained Galactus of his powers and used his husk of a body as a bomb to destroy Black Winter. Now, Black Winter has the ability to change its form and appear different to each person that sees it, and he can create illusions and generate snow and frost that disintegrates whatever it touches. So pretty cool to have here. Of course, this is that more recent Thor we've gotten, just in this all black design that looks pretty cool. Again, Black Winter taking over the disguise as that more recent Thor. So we have Thor's face, but it's all blue this time with some light blue eyes, so that looks pretty cool, with his hair all black now and up and sort of like flowing in the wind, which is crazy. We have the exact same Thor outfit. Like I said, it's going to be that same figure, just redone and painted, so it's all in black this time, so it has the exact same Thor outfit design, just all in black. The armor now has this blue design to it, this metallic blue that goes all the way to the hands as well, that matches the face, and that armor continues down his legs again in the blue color with the skirting covering over the top and the black boots on his feet, which of course these boots are such a problem because they only allow the feet to go so far, and with the cape and everything on them and the hair, it always pulls it back. So I have issues with that other Thor and this one as well. But what's really cool is they changed the cape out, so it still has a cape, but this time it's this all see-through like black color, and then it's all tattered and torn and crazy looking, so I think that looks awesome. So love that cape design on him as well. But we'll do the movement, so his head will twist around. It should be hard to get all the way around. You can maybe get it to work if you sort of force it there, but the hair's in the way. So at least twist side to side, and you can look down that far and then up about that far. So he can look up a little. I thought it'd be just straight on because of the hair, but there is some range in there, so he can look up a little, so that's nice. And then we get the shoulders that do come up to 90 and can rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the single elbow joint that bends there to 90 with the rotation. We get the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so we get the upper ab crunch, so crunch back and forth there and twist all the way around. And then the hips will come up to 90 and out to the side, thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint, that'll bend up that far to the back, which is good. And the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty good movements overall for him. Not bad range, has like single elbows and stuff, but still gets pretty good range. And I thought, with all the armor and hair and stuff, it'd get less range, but still works out pretty decent. But for his accessories, we do get some additional hands. So he's got 2 fist hands. So we get 2 hands. So one a grip, of course, to be able to hold Thor's hammer, and then an open hand there like that as well. So let's definitely switch out the grip hand. And then we can give him the Thor's hammer. So we get Mjolnir this time all in black, which looks really cool. And it has this nice like smoky effect coming off of it that does stick on the hammer. So you can easily just pop this off. So if you don't want to have it, it sticks on there pretty good, but you can just force it out there. So we can put that into his hand. And then like I said, if we want the smoke on it, we can put this on. So let's put this in his hand. And there he's got Thor's hammer now as well, so they're just all a part of his disguise, but looked pretty awesome to have this version of Black Winter. Obviously, it'd be cool to have him in a different design, not just, the same figure that we've had before reused again, but it still looks cool for this. Obviously, not going to be much use for anything else because it'll be just too confusing to have a figure that looks just like Thor. But of course, since we have had the other Thor, here it is there. So again, it's going to be just the same figure, all reused except for a different hair design, and then all in black instead of his normal design. So there we've got the normal Thor, and then the Thor that Black Winter turns into to try and get Galactus back. So very cool to have this figure. Like I said, not a necessary figure, just cool to have a representation of Black Winter. And of course, the biggest thing for this was to get the Build-A-Figure piece is the main reason why we have it, but still a cool looking figure. And I think overall the body, he stands a lot easier than that other Thor does. So it's weird how that works out, but still a really cool figure. And next up, we have Wolfsbane, whose real name is Rain Sinclair. She was born and raised in Scotland by her reverend father with a strict religious moral code. Her mutant powers develop as lycanthropy and was believed to be a werewolf, so she was chased through the Highlands until she ran into Moira McTaggart, who saved her and took her in to Charles Xavier, where she became a member of the New Mutants, and later on she would join up with X-Factor. Now she has the ability to transform into a wolf with enhanced size, strength, speed, reflexes, senses, as well as the healing factor, and because of her werewolf she has claws and fangs. So overall cool to get her here, especially in her X-Factor design. Now we have had Wolfsbane before in the New Mutants design, so I will show you that figure, and then we made a custom out of her to get an X-Factor design. So she looks awesome here in her X-Factor outfit, but it looks pretty cool with her head design. So we get the face there of Rain, which looks awesome just in this all like orangish brown color with the fur coming down the sides, almost like mutton chops, and hair coming up to the points, very similar to Wolverine. But she has a more angry face, so she's got her teeth showing there. Of course, angry eyebrows. Love her pointed ears there off to the side as well. And then we go down to her X-Factor outfit. So we've seen this similar design with like Polaris and everything. So pretty similar with the blue and yellow design, X on her chest, little zipper designs that do come down there, which is cool, belt around the waist. And then we get her all fur-like body, so since she does turn into like a werewolf design. So she has the fur all the way down, again in that orangish brown color. So it goes down her arms with a little bit of fur-like spike there at the elbow, all the way to the claws there on her hands, which is cool. So we get that on both arms. And then the furry legs that go down as well to her feet, where she has the sharp toenails there as well, so claws on her feet. So looks pretty good overall for this. But for movements, we get the head that'll twist all the way around. She can look down that far and up that far, so really good, of course, with that nice hinge disc. We get the shoulders that come up to 90 and can rotate around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow, of course, pinless elbow, so may have some issues. And it'll bend all the way up on itself like that, which is really good. The wrist will twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch just under her chest, so she'll crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. We get the hips that'll come up. That's as far as I can get it, so under 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that'll bend up again with the pinless joints is pretty stiff, but it'll bend up at least that far to the back, so not the best for that. And then we get the foot that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty decent. Like I said, it's not got the best range, unfortunately, but having the double knees and elbows is pretty nice, especially for the female body. And for accessories, she does come with 2 fist hands, so we get 2 fists to go with her claws, which of course for her, I'll always want the claws, so we'll just stick with that. And as I mentioned, we have had her in the New Mutants version before, so we got that pack that came with the 3 different like head design stuff. You could choose whoever you wanted out of the girls from the New Mutants. So we got the Wolfsbane head for that, the Wolfsbane head and claws there, so that looks pretty cool. So obviously this one's much improved, so has much better designs and features, and we can obviously take the head and hands, put it on this one as well if we want the New Mutants version. But as I mentioned, we did take this old one and make a custom ourselves for the X Factor, of course, before they released this one. So we have this one, and we did repaint the hair design, so we painted it more brown, as well as we put the hands, and we got fur from Black Cat and painted it the same brown color and put it on this as well. So we just took the Polaris body and put it on this, giving us the Wolfsbane. So that's what we were using as our X Factor Wolfsbane, but now we have the actual version, so that's all that matters. And with having her, we can include her with the rest of X Factor. And there she is with the rest of our X Factor team of Havoc, Polaris, Multiple Man, Strong Guy, and now Wolfsbane, the proper version added in. So very cool to get her to be able to finish off our X Factor team. And next up we have Ka-Zar, whose real name is Kevin Plunder. He's the son of a British nobleman and scientist that discovered a hidden jungle in Antarctica known as the Savage Land, where he discovered the element known as the antimetal, which is an isotope of vibranium. So word of the discovery got spread and people started searching for it. So Lord Plunder took his son and sought refuge in the Savage Land, where they were attacked by the man-apes who killed Lord Plunder, but Kevin was saved by Zabu, the saber-toothed tiger, and the two formed an intimate bond, and they fled to the land of the mist, where he would grow into a man and become known as Ka-Zar, translated as son of tiger, where he learned the ways of the flora and fauna and became a protector of Savage Land, leading to his encounter with the X-Men. So he doesn't really have too much like superpowers or anything, but he has near superhuman strength and endurance, as well as the Savage Land connection, so how he can feel the flora and fauna, as I mentioned. And overall, it's cool to get him, so he does just kind of look like a wild man, kind of like a Tarzan or whatever, so So it looks pretty good, almost an all naked male body here. So like I said, very little clothes. He does have the fur loincloth and like a belt design around his waist, and then boots on his feet as well. It's like the brown leather boots with the fur at the top of that as well. So the rest of him is all pretty much naked, and then we get his face there. So I don't like how he's looking up too much. You kind of have to pose his head to get him look straight on there, but he has more of an angry look on his face, and then his longer blonde hair there as well, which I don't think this side looks bad, just this side, the way it's like coming down like curved and stuff, don't like too much. But he does of course have a lot of a He-Man look to him, especially the more wild version of He-Man, so you could easily make this a Marvel Legends version of He-Man, and especially taking the head from one of the other figures we'll look at, you could really make him a He-Man. But overall looks pretty good. Like I said, pretty basic, you know, like I said, almost a naked guy, but still looks good for what he is. But for movements, we get his head that'll twist all the way around, can look down that far and up that far, so not bad movements for the neck. The shoulders do come up to 90 with that butterfly joint that moves back and forth, and of course can rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow that'll bend up that far, so again, pretty much all the way up on itself, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so he'll crunch forward, crunch back. You can really see his abs on this one, so crunch back and forth. And he'll twist around at the waist as well. Then we get the hips that come up to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. We get the double knee joint that'll bend up that far to the back. Not bad at all. Very close to kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot. And the foot will flex back and forth. A little bit stiff, it feels like, but flex back and forth. And twist side to side. So relatively good range. It does feel like and look like he's on the newer Vulcan body, so that's why we get such good range with this. I just don't like the amount of like cutout there around his abs. Kind of looks weird for that. And then we do have issues. I can see the gaps there at the back of the legs and stuff. Looks kind of weird overall. So not the best looking figure like production wise, but still looks good for the character. But accessory wise, we do get some additional hands. So he has two like claw hands already. So we get two fist hands, so a set of fists, as well as a set of hands with trigger fingers. It's got, I don't know why he needs it, but we use them more for grip hands, so we'll switch these out. And with those grip hands, we can give him his knife. So we have this knife here, a nice thick blade. Looks like a big honey knife with a gold handle. Looks pretty cool. Nice, awesome design. So obviously we can put this into his hand, but he does also have a slot on his belt here that we can store it in, which is cool. So we can just slide this in back there and store it on his belt, but let's go and just put it into his hand. So there's Ka-Zar with the knife ready to stab you. And then we also get a spear, so this nice like stone spear point with rope wrapped around it, then just a wooden stick, so that's cool. We can put this into his other hand. And there's Ka-Zar with the spear. Of course, his grip hand's too big, so that it's hard to get the spear like really held into his hand because it just easily slides back and forth. But there he's now got the knife in the spear, and that looks really cool. Now, of course, we don't have much of the Savage Land to go along with him. We, of course, will have Zabu once we get the Build-A-Figure all put together. But the only other thing we have so far is that we also have Sauron, so that old Build-A-Figure Sauron. So the big like pterodactyl guy. I know it's going to be hard to see him here, but the big pterodactyl guy, which is still a cool figure. Just some looseness is the only issue I have with him, but still a nice big cool character. Of course, an evil villain of Savage Land that the two fight a lot in that. So very cool to now have Ka-Zar to go along with Sauron. And next up we have Red Widow, which was formerly a homeless girl that was brought into the Red Room Academy and vigorously trained to become a member of Russia's revamped super team known as the Winter Guard. There, Crimson Dynamo was the leader, but Red Widow was the one always calling the shots, and she would observe battles from a distance. Now, through her Red Room training, she has enhanced physiology by the Red Room Super Soldier Serum, giving her enhanced strength, speed, agility, reflexes, and durability. So it's cool to have her a newer member to the Winter Guard, but looks pretty awesome here with the all red design. Of course, for Red Widow makes sense, and she is very similar to Black Widow, which makes me think I forgot to get a Black Widow, so won't be able to compare her at all to that, but still looks cool. So with the face there all covered, again, she is unknown who she is, so she's got black all over the face that we do see with white eyes in there, and then a red covering over the face so you don't see the rest of it. Then she has a red hood on top of that, so that's nice to cover that, and you can see this way it's formed there around with the cape and cloak sort of design with the hood that comes up, and then like I said, that cloak or cape, whatever it's supposed to be, hangs down over top. Nice layer on top of that, and then the cape hanging down, so nice layers for that. I'm sure we could pull the head off and then get all this off maybe to have better range of movements. But there we can see she's mostly all red body suited, so she has this tight bodysuit all over her, but with some black details that go down the side, mainly down to her legs, and then some details under her chest. She does have the Widow design, so much like Black Widow has there on her waist, and then she has these straps as well. So I was gonna say belt, but they look more just like bands or straps or just some sort of material material there wrapped around her, so we get there around her waist and on her thighs as well, where she does have a little sheath design. No knife or anything to go in there, but it is wrapped there around her leg. Then we go down, more black design. Looks like I got some paint issues with that, but red kneecaps and then black all the way down to the feet. And then she does also have the Widow logos there on her hands as well, so that's pretty nice that that's included. But to do her body movements, I'll probably see if I can take the head off and, like I said, get this cloak off just at better range. So you can't do that, you just have to have the head with the hood this time. But there's what she looks like base body wise. So just looks like the plain female body with the red and black paint on it. But for movements, we'll get that'll twist all the way around. It can look down that far and up that far, so not bad for the movements. Back's not the best, but every other thing is good. The shoulders come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow again with the pinless may be stiff, but it can bend all the way up on itself there. With the wrist, that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we get the ab crunch, so she'll crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. Then we go down to the hips that come up to 90, out to the side, thigh twist all the way around, the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, again, not far from kicking her butt, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So pretty good range. You know, she has that newer female body with the double knees and elbows, so works out pretty good for what she's got. But of course, putting that cloak on her does hinder some of her movements, but let me go and put that back on. And for accessories, she does come with some additional hands, so we do get a fist hand and then one of the open, more like magic hands or whatever I call it. So we get those hands to go along with their two grip hands, and with those grips, we can give her weapon of the double-bladed staff sword. So it looks like it's two separate items that are attached here in the center, and then have these blades on the end, so like these sword-like weapons. So look pretty cool there, of course, going in different directions. So let me try and get this into her hand. So there's the weapon in her hand, which looks pretty cool. Of course, it is hard to get her really posed up or anything because of that cloak, so hard to get the range in there. But now that we have her, we can add her in with the rest of our Winter Guard. So there's Red Widow in the Winter Guard with Red Guardian, Dark Star, Ursa Major, and Crimson Dynamo. So very cool to have her added to the team as well. Again, sort of finishing off another team. And next up we have Ikaris, which is a member of the Eternals, which are genetically superior offshoots of humanity with superpowers. They were created by the Celestials 1 million years ago, and Ikaris is one of the most prominent and leader of the race. He has watched over humanity as they evolved and developed and battled against the deviants. He spent his life preparing for the return of the Celestials, but went mad and killed himself when he learned that the Eternals were meant to cultivate humankind for the Celestials to harvest. And so he has the eternal physiology of superhuman strength, durability, and senses, as well as immortality, regeneration, flight, teleportation, and cosmic energy projection from his eyes and hands. So it's cool to get the comic version of Ikaris. Of course, we did do the Eternals movie figures a while ago, and if you saw that Ikaris, he had relatively similar design, obviously not color-wise, but you know, they have like the circles on their chest and on the body and all that sort of stuff. But it's cool to get a comic version of Ikaris. Of course, not the coolest looking figure, but it's just, you know, part of the design for him and what they look like. So we get the face there, so he has this longer sort of blonde hair, and like I said, this is a good head that we could put on that Ka-Zar body to give us more of that savage He-Man design, so we'll do that at the end. But then you get more of his exposed neck around there as well with the outfits. Like I said, he has the circles, so he has like this reddish color. It's more of got like a, I want to say pink or like a purple tone to it. It's a little bit off color there, but I like the gold details inside of it. The black like sort of strap design that goes around, so it goes around to the back there and connects and down, as well as around his abdomen with the gold circles there as well. Onto the skirting piece, again that same red color with the gold design details ornamentation on that. We get red gloves on his blue body, so mostly all blue spandex with this stuff on top of it, but the red gloves there that have like segmentation or rib pieces running through that as well on both hands. The blue legs running down to the red boots that match as well, with the rib designs running all through those. So overall, I think it looks pretty cool. Like, it's a dorky outfit, but like forgetting the comic Eternals design, it's really cool. But movement-wise, we get that'll twist all the way around. The head can look down that far, again, stiffen the neck, and look up that far, so hinges are pretty stiff on this, but nice movements. We get the shoulders that do come up to 90 and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends up that far, so not bad, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth for the hand. Then we get the ab crunch, so it's kind of hidden there, but cut out, so we can crunch forward, crunch back, so nice crunching, and then also twist around at the waist, of course, hidden behind the belt and hard to do, but he does twist in there. Then we get the hips that come up pretty close to 90, not all the way again because of the skirting, so that far and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. the double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back, and then we get a shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot flexes back and forth and twists side to side. It's not bad for a figure. It doesn't have the best range at all, and seems like he's maybe got, like, I want to say older joints even though they're pinless and stuff, but it just doesn't seem to function as well as the normal pinless joints do. So limited range on there, but it's fine for the figure, you know, not really inhibiting anything. And then for accessories, the only thing we get with him is some additional hands, so I guess more like power hands or whatever. There are no effects or anything, unfortunately, since, like I said, he does shoot stuff from his hands. Would be cool, as well as his eyes, so some sort of effect would be awesome, but he doesn't come with anything, unfortunately. But as far as Eternals go, we had one other comic Eternal of Cersei, so we've had this one, of course, so she has the jacket and stuff, so the designs don't really match too well together, but there we have at least 2 comic versions of Eternals. And as I said, we can take the head off this and put it on that Ka-Zar body, and that gives us more of a Savage He-Man look. Of course, the head sits down a little too low on the neck, but that looks like that Savage He-Man figure we got from the Masterverse line not too long ago, so that is pretty cool. So you can have sort of like a Marvel Legends version of He-Man if you want in that 6-inch scale. So that's pretty cool. So an option if you want to do that, or we just have Ikaris, which is still pretty cool. Like I said, the coolest thing about this is getting the comic Eternals version, because that's always what I want to have, is the comic version. So awesome to have Ikaris now added to the collection. And then we get our final main figure of the wave, which is Cable, whose real name is Nathan Summers. Now, if you've been watching X-Men 97, we get to see a lot of Cable's origins, but Cable is the son of Scott Summers and Madeline Pryor, who was a clone of Jean Grey created by Mr. Sinister, whose birth was planned by Mr. Sinister to produce a genetically superior mutant that he could control to defeat Apocalypse. But baby Nathan was kidnapped by Apocalypse and infected with the techno-organic virus that started spreading liquid metal throughout his body, and it would eventually kill him, but Sister Oksana arrived from 2,000 years in the future and promised to cure Nathan by taking him into the future. So because of his parents, he has very powerful telepathy and telekinesis abilities, as well as the techno-organic physiology of superhuman speed, endurance, and agility, as well as the healing factor and his cybernetic eye and arms that gives him superhuman strength and energy projection. So very cool look for this, especially with his Marvel vs. Capcom 2 look. So just awesome. I love this because it's got more of that X-Men design, you know, with the blue and yellow. So very cool. That's always what I prefer Cable to look like. And this is pretty cool. The only thing I wish is that the blue was more blue. It's more of a grayish blue with this, so I wish it was more of a normal blue. But other than that, this figure just looks cool. It's like everything I would want for a Cable. I love his face design. I think this is by far the best looking Cable face we've got. Of course, love the like little flash coming out of his eye with his cybernetic eye, and then we get his other eye with the scars all around it, so that is cool. And then I love how he's got like the 5 o'clock shadow design on his chin, and his white hair mostly all slicked back, but the little strands in the front, so that is cool. Again, the spandex blue outfit for the X-Men body, so from the neck all the way down. And then of course we do get his techno-organic cybernetic arm there as well, so nice all metallic arm there going to the gloved hand with the nice bands around the wrist as well. Of course, he has the X-Men pockets and straps, so belt around the waist with pockets and straps that come up over his shoulders to the back with the X logos on those and the belt buckle. He's got the yellow underwear design, straps on his legs as well. Of course, Cable was designed by Rob Liefeld, so he has to have all sorts of pocket straps and weird feet. And then he's got blue on the legs all the way down to his boots, where he's got the yellow boots that come up to the yellow knee pads there. So overall, like I said, if this blue was a little bit more of a normal blue and not this grayed out blue, this would be like the perfect Cable figure to me, because it just looks so cool and I love this design. But for movements, we get that'll twist all the way around. You can look down that far and up that far, so really good range in there. We get the shoulders that come up to 90 and can rotate all the way around. We get a bicep twist and the double elbow joint, so it bends up only about that far, about to 90, with the wrist that'll twist around and hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so I'm sure the crunch is going to be cut out there and hidden behind the strap. Actually, it's cut down in the straps with that design, so it works there. So as you crunch it, the straps still stay in place, so that is cool. And then he'll twist around at the waist as well, so just under the belt. The hips will come up close to 90 and out to the side. Thigh twist all the way around. The double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. Ooh, very close to kicking his butt. Shin twist at the top of the boot, and the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side. So very good range of movements overall. Now, of course, as you saw, he does have the pin elbow, so he doesn't get as good of range as he possibly could, just because they use the old arms. Actually, it looks like the cybernetic arm is pinless, so that's weird. I thought they used the same pinned arms just because of the cybernetic arm, but no, it's actually the cybernetic's pinless, which is kind of crazy design, and that's just that arm, so I guess they wanted him to have that bigger arm and didn't want to create a new mold or something for it. But overall, still very cool function-wise for this Cable. But for accessories, we do get additional hands. So he's got a fist hand and then like claw-like hand. Well, then we get 2 trigger finger hands. Of course, since Cable uses a lot of guns, we get 2 trigger finger hands. So it may switch them out. And with those trigger fingers, we can give him his gun. So we've had guns we've got multiple times before. So we've had this gun before. So it almost looks kind of like a revolver style gun. Looks pretty cool, nice 6-shooter, but of course futuristic design. So we can put that into his hand. And then we also get this other gun as well, which looks more like a solid-off shotgun with the double barrel there. Looks pretty cool for that as well. So let's put that in his other hand. And there's Cable with both of the guns, so that looks pretty cool. So like I said, very awesome look for this Cable overall. Now, of course, we have had other Cables in the past. So here we've had just our normal like comic version of Cable, almost like his first appearance, I guess, or whatever you'd call it. Just basic sort of Cable design there, which is fine, but I definitely prefer this newer version. And then we've had this more updated comic version as well, so a more recent design for Cable where it looks a little bit older and more of the organic viruses spreading to his face and all that as well. So all 3 Cables look cool for what they are, but like I said, definitely this new Cable is my favorite. Just love that design the most. And that brings us to our Build-A-Figure of Zabu, which is the last surviving saber-toothed tiger living in the Savage Land as they were exterminated by the man-apes, including Zabu's mate. So he hunted them down as they were attacking Kevin Plunder, and those two worked together to kill the man-ape leader, and they became companions. Now, Zabu has the Smilodon physiology of super smell, hearing, and night vision, as well as razor-sharp claws and teeth of a saber-tooth. So very cool to get Zabu finally in a Marvel Legends, so very cool to get him, especially in the same wave that we get Ka-Zar. So we get Ka-Zar and Zabu together, which is awesome. So it's pretty much just a saber-tooth tiger, so it has all of this like orangish colored fur, like yellow-orange sort of fur design. We get the face of him, nice green eyes in there. Of course, the kitty-like nose and the sharp saber teeth coming there out the front, so those look pretty cool with all the other sharp teeth there in his mouth. We get the ears sort of pinned back so he's ready in fight attack mode with some fur here around his neck, so that's awesome. And then we get the all just fur covered body, little tiny tail here on the back, so that's pretty funny. And then we get the 4 legs, of course, with the sharp claws there on its feet. Love how it's got the extra fur, especially on the back of its legs coming down on that for that, really cool. And some extra fur on its bottom as well, so running down the midsection there. So overall, not a whole lot to it, just, you know, nice saber tooth, but it looks really nice as well. So like I said, it's just really cool to get Zabu in a Marvel Legend figure. But we can do its movements, so his head should have some movements here, so it can look up and look down, so not the best range movements, it doesn't seem like, but it can also twist side to side. We do also get a hinged mouth, so it can open and close there depending on how far you want the mouth open for attack. Then we get like this additional neck piece, which should have some movement, so it twists around there, and then it should hinge back and forth. Yeah, it just feels like it's stuck, so it can look up a little more and down a little more depending on what you want to do with Zabu there. Then we can go to like the front shoulder joints, so they come out to the side and rotate all the way around. We get like these knee joints, so single like knees or whatever there, that can bend forward and twist side to side. And then we also get the foot that will also rock back and forth and twist side to side. So again, you get the range with both of the front legs. We do have like an ab crunch here, so it can crunch back and forth or side to side if you want to go either side like that. And it also twists around, so again, you can get all sorts of adjustments in there. Then we go to the back or hind legs, so it can come out to the side, rotate all the way around as well, at least, yeah, all the way around. Then we get its like knee joint that bends back with rotation, and then we also get like this additional joint that can hinge forward there, so get that a little just to move for the back, and then down to the paw as well, that can hinge back and forth and twist side to side. And of course, it's fine, it has the little toe beans on its foot, and like I said, the tail on the back there as well, that can hinge back and forth and rotate all the way around. So really cool. Of course, we've had figures like this before, especially with the G.I. Joes, with like the Timbers, the Wolves and stuff. So we've had very similar design, just this is obviously in a bigger scale, and it works out really good. So you get a nice figure design for Zabu that works nice. Looks like, you know, the saber tooth like it's supposed to. And now with having Zabu, we've of course added him in with Ka-Zar to get our 2 companion theirs of Zabu and Ka-Zar that can now fight together in the Savage Land. So really cool to get this, especially that they came together. So we both got the Build-A-Figure of Zabu along with Ka-Zar. So really cool that they came together and now we got the Zabu Build-A-Figure. Well, that's it for our Marvel Legends wave with the Build-A-Figure Zabu, where we got Superior Iron Man, Black Winter, Wolfsbane, Ka-Zar, Red Widow, Ikaris, Cable, and of course our Build-A-Figure of Zabu. So very cool wave. Of course, a big mismatch, not a whole lot of similar stuff, except for over here we do have more X-Men related characters. But I like the Superior Iron Man. Just like I said, if it wasn't for that head, I probably wouldn't care about this at all. Again, Black Winter looks cool. Again, just to have a nice character representation of Black Winter, but I wouldn't really care too much for it if it didn't come with the Build-A-Figure pieces for Zabu. Wolfsbane is awesome, especially in her X Factor design to go with our team, and very similar with Red Widow. Not like the coolest or most wanted character ever, but she goes with the team we already have, so cool for that. As I mentioned, getting comic Ikaris is really cool. Like that, the lot getting the comic Eternals. That Cable, like I said, the best Cable we've had so far, in my opinion at least, so almost a near perfect figure. And then getting Ka-Zar with Zabu is really cool. Just getting more Savage Land characters is always awesome, and those two look really cool together. So let me know what you thought of this wave down in the comments, and if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.